Deep in the Peruvian Amazon, there is a river hot enough to kill you. Along its worst stretches, the water sits near boiling. Andres Russo grew up hearing about it from his grandfather, a legend of a river that boils as if a fire burns beneath it. Every geologist he later asked told him the same thing. Water gets that hot next to volcanoes, and there is no volcano here. The nearest volcanic center stands about 700 kilometers away, more than 400 miles, on the far side of the Andes. So hold 3 questions. What is hitting a full river in the middle of the jungle with no volcano to blame? Why does the same stream start cool, then climb to scalding within a short walk downstream? And was the tidy answer always that people caused it, that an oil well had punched into the earth and let the heat escape? 3 questions. One reader, Steve Dem. Russo is a geoscientist. He was born in Peru, trained in the United States, and while he was building a map of his country's geothermal energy, that childhood story surfaced again. He asked the people around him, his professors and his colleagues, and they waved it off. A river that could cook you deep in the Amazon and hundreds of miles from any volcano sounded like the kind of tale that grows every time it gets told. Then, at a family dinner, his aunt interrupted. She had been there. The legend had an address. We will compare that back to what that heat is actually doing and to whether anyone had punched a hole in the earth to make it. In November 2011, she took him. They reached a healing center at Mayantuyacu, got permission from the shaman who guards the site, and walked into the forest with a guide. And what they found was a river the color of strong tea, steam rising off it in sheets. The stones along the bank were warm under his hands. A hypothermometer in the water. Along the hot reach, the average runs about 86 degrees Celsius, about 187 Fahrenheit. Not a full boil, hot enough that falling in is a medical emergency. In places it climbs even higher, past 95 degrees. Walk the river and the heat shifts on its own. Up near the headwaters it starts as a small cool jungle stream. A short way downstream it will take the skin off your hand. Same channel, 2 worlds. Ngamiana Afeda, Awelista Fachna, the place carries a name older than any survey. Shana Etimpishka, you will find it translated as boiled by the heat of the sun, and that neat little phrase points people in exactly the wrong direction. The sun has nothing to do with it. The forest canopy shades the water, and no amount of tropical sun can drive a moving river anywhere near boiling. For the people of Mayantuyacu, the heat belongs to Yakumama, the mother of the waters, a giant serpent spirit said to bring forth the hot and the cold. That belief is held there as sacred, and Russo has been careful to speak about it that way rather than as a piece of jungle scenery. So what is doing the heating? Take the obvious suspect first. Volcanoes drive most of the hot water on the planet, and volcanic water carries a chemical signature, the particular gases and dissolved minerals that a magma chamber leaves behind. The water in this river does not carry that signature. Its chemistry points elsewhere, and the closest volcanic center sits that impossible distance away, on the other side of a mountain range. That still leaves the harder worry, us. Drill deep enough for oil and you can open up heat and pressure that were sealed underground, and there is oil work in the wider region. But the nearest well sits more than a mile from the river, and the operator's records place its activity well clear of the water. Families have lived along these banks for generations, and their memory of a hot river runs back far longer than any rig has been around. There are even written references to it from before the drilling ever started. The river was hot long before anyone came looking for oil beneath it. An accident that old is no accident. That leaves the quieter explanation, the one most geologists now favor, the one that finally answers the heat without a volcano. Rain and meltwater off the high Andes sink into the ground and travel, sometimes over long distances, through cracks and faults in the rock. The deeper the water goes, the hotter the surrounding rock, because the planet warms with depth everywhere you drill, volcano or not. Somewhere far below, the water soaks up heat from this ordinary geothermal gradient, then finds a quick route back up along a fault and arrives at the surface steaming. It is a natural hydrothermal system running on nothing stranger than deep circulation and the Earth's own warmth. And that is also why the river can start cool and turn lethal a few bends later. Fresh water is still joining the channel upstream. Further down, those fault-fed returns dump heat into the same stream. Same river, different plumbing. The full map, where the water enters and how far it runs underground, has not been completely drawn. It is the leading idea, a so strong one, and still partly a working sketch. Isn't it as water taking a very long, very deep detour? It goes in somewhere up in the mountains as cold rain, spends who knows how long circulating through hot rock far underground, and comes back out as a river you cannot touch. The heat was always down there. This particular stretch of Amazon just happens to give it a door. What sets this place apart is its sheer size. Hot springs bubble up all over the world with no volcano in sight. A hot river is a different creature. Water sheds heat quickly into the air and into the cooler ground it flows across, so holding several kilometers of it near boiling demands a large and steady feed of heat from below. Maria Richards, a geothermal specialist from Southern Methodist University who traveled to the river with Russo, has said she has never seen anything at this level. The river is argued and widely cited as the largest documented non-volcanic geothermal river anywhere, with the honest footnote that the whole river and a cluster of springs are two different claims. For Rousseau, the river started as a line on a geothermal map and became a calling. He has spent years measuring the river and defending the idea that a place can be sacred to the people who live beside it, and they are genuinely interesting to science at the same time, when this one is plainly both. And the water is alive. Its banks are home to microbes that flourish in heat that would sterilize most living things, the extremophiles that keep biologists asking where exactly life gives out. The river is far less gentle with everything else. By Rousseau's account, animals that fall in do not climb back out. The same heat that draws a scientist across the world is quietly fatal to a frog or a bird that reads the bank wrong. 3 questions, 3 answers. What heats it? Deep circulation along faults, Earth's ordinary warmth, delivered at rare scale, with the underground parts still being mapped. Why cool then hot? The stream begins ordinary. The lethal reach is where that geothermal return joins. Was this dug an accident? No. The heat was there before the rigs. A boy hears a bedtime legend. He grows up, becomes the kind of scientist trained to doubt exactly that sort of story, and very nearly lets the experts talk him out of it. Then, he stands in the steam with a thermometer, and the legend turns out to describe something real and measurable that science still cannot completely finish explaining. The boiling river sits out in the open in the Peruvian Amazon, waiting for the last pieces of its story to be filled in. If you like the ones that sound invented until you go and check, subscribe, and come find the longer write-ups at scienceblog.com. Her notebooks are still too radioactive to touch. Same channel, next.